promotional piece to promote Rachel Nichols coming to Showtime Sports. You're at a situation now where you've seen she's being introduced by her two boys, Jack and Matt, who she helped out in this situation. And she's saying, my boys, they owe me. And this is how you pay. Now, for those who don't get it, for those who don't understand how this works in this business, this is a rub your back, you rub my back type of situation. If I rub your back, you rub mine. That's how it works. That's how this industry is kept itself full of corruption, full of bias, full of entitlement. Like right now, they won't even promote this because they're like, oh no, this guy went way beyond the lines. This Carcino guy has went way beyond what we think is safe. Let's mess up anything he's about to say right now. When everybody else would tiptoe around the subject, I jump right in. Fully. That's why they're not letting people see the video. They're not letting any comments go up. Nothing. Craig, you're the only comment that's up. That's a bit strange for 2 minutes into a video. You want to know why? It's because we're talking about this subject. And they know it. Now the powers that be are going to do everything they can to sabotage. Well, you can have Rachel Nichols all you want. If you think that's sexy, knock yourself out. Now, anyway, here's the situation. Rachel came here to explain her side of the story, right, on ESPN. She wanted to explain what exactly happened on ESPN with her departure when she was like, I had it in my contract, I was supposed to do the NBA Finals. So now they want to give it to Maria Taylor, and this is what I'm saying. It had nothing to do with Maria and all of these different things here. And she accidentally set something up for herself to be recorded, which to me, I think is God's plan. God set that up. Nobody but God did that. Rachel got screwed by ESPN. No, Rachel screwed Rachel. And I'm going to explain that even further too. Rachel Nichols decided in her infinite wisdom that it would be best if she was to find a way to make all this go away. She has a very negative outlook. Oh, thank you, Spinner Rack. She has a very negative outlook on the situation by claiming she was the one that was wrongly victimized in this situation when she's the one that set up this audio. But I felt this was God playing to get all of this dirtiness out to the public. What's done in the dark will be brought to the light. So people listen, and the tone of this conversation was very mean, very aggressive, and very condescending, because she felt like, I worked 20 years at this job and then they put it in writing and this thing was supposed to be beyond us. I got a raise, Maria got a raise. This should have been over. She skipped over a very intricate plot. point in this whole conversation. She was speaking to Adam, the advisor for LeBron James. Why were you speaking to an advisor to LeBron James? Right? You see, Jack helped build Rachel's career. When Jack was a player in the NBA, players wouldn't even talk to Rachel Nichols. They thought she was not pretty enough for them to waste their time to talk to. Jack knew nobody was going to interview him, went right over to Rachel and started talking. Matt, when he decided to go into media, Jack already had a job working with Rachel. So Matt used Jack and got in with Rachel. And then they all start working together. Once Rachel got her own show and came up in the game. So this is how this thing works. Now she's coming on Showtime. Matt and Jack are still negotiating their deal on Showtime. Right now, they're still in negotiations. She got a show now. So is she finna come on the show now as a partner? But now she's part of the family. But she never spoke about the fact that the other Adam that she was speaking to, LeBron James' advisor, brought up that he was exhausted from Black Lives Matter, and she started laughing. Yeah, she did not bring that up. Do you know why Rachel did not bring that up? It's the same reason that they're not pushing this video. The same reason why this video isn't being pushed. She didn't bring that up because there's no wiggle room out of that. And these two clowns was not going to mention it because these are her boys. They're not going to bring that up. They're not going to say nothing about it. They're going to be good little boys. No pushback questions. No real interview here. This was Rachel get to say what she wants and get away, control the show, and then we fade out. See, we covered everything. She told how she felt. She didn't say nothing different than what she said in her statement from the very beginning. That it's someone else's fault, period. But Rachel was the one tweeting Black Lives Matter, BLM support, and all of these different things, but you're laughing like a hyena when a white man who's advising people about Black Lives Matter and black subjects wonder why LeBron is so confused and his messages seem jaded because look what he got advising him. Somebody like Rachel, who's only thinking about herself and only plays the victim when she can't get what she wants because she feels a sense of entitlement. Now, let's get back to here. Old slowpoke, Jack and Matt. You two clowns. You had no pushback on anything, knowing that y'all felt a certain way about it. Matt flew and didn't want to make a statement, but flew to come to her aid to be on the show. Jack jumped all the way out the damn box because that's what he does. He always throw himself on the grenade for everybody else. Jack jumped out there. Man, Maria, you was a sympathy hire. A sympathy hire. And she never spoke to your ass again. After you was claiming you was down with Maria Taylor and all that, man, Rachel, you gotta explain this. Rachel called you, then you jump out at the boat again. Yeah, Rachel told me what's up, man. You a sympathy high and all that. Man, we can't just go for that and just call Rachel just cause they ESPN. This they fault. You know, she a sympathy high. A sympathy higher. You just reduced a hardworking black woman down to a sympathy high. Words that came right out of your mouth. Matt goes at 5:30 in the morning, catch a plane to fly all the way back to do an interview with Rachel to get her out of the mud when she got to do some apologizing for her actions. You're on the show, doing the show, and y'all do more talking than Rachel. Where does that make sense? So you got nothing out of this. This whole thing was meant to do one thing. To promote Rachel Nichols coming to Showtime Sports. Do I believe Rachel Nichols is racist? No. I don't. I just think she has a sense of entitlement that she feels she's supposed to get something anyway because she's put in the work and kissed enough butt. That's just how it is. She felt like, I kissed this person's butt enough. I should have done this and I should have done that. Rachel, of course she was wrong. Because you don't speak on another person, even though you're saying, oh, it's about ESPN and this and that. It was the actions. It was the things that you did beyond the facts. They put Rachel Nichols on countdown after this, after Maria Taylor said, hey, I don't want to work with her no more. They moved Rachel Nichols to countdown to work side by side with her. Why? She don't want to see her. No, because Maria didn't accept the extension that they had. Well, the thing is, Maria, here's the thing. She started to compare. She's like, would you think they'll ask a man to step down over a woman? You know, Maria does sideline reporting for college football. And, you know, this other guy, he's in charge. Do you think that they would ask him to step down for Maria Taylor? Well, here's the thing, Rachel. You had never done it. That man's been doing it for years. You had never done it. You've never hosted the NBA Finals. So asking you to step down for something you've never even done yet, ESPN, what they wanted to do was put out a fire. And they wanted to see how much of a team player you was. That's what they meant by team player. Like, look, we do have egg on our face. We are racist. And yes, we are going to use you to clean up our situation, but here's what we need you to do. We're in a negotiation with Maria Taylor. In order to keep her lowballed or keep her in a position, we got to at least give her a bone so that we can show the whole world we ain't bigoted. You're going to have the NBA Finals. Don't worry about it. We need this to get this done. So when Jack said countdown, he had it wrong. It wasn't countdown. That was Rachel's. Maria Taylor signed a contract to do Countdown, where she was one of the co-hosts. And then they moved Rachel Nichols up there to have her coming on the show, going against what they were doing. Then they couldn't get a deal done, so they tried to slander her. So all of a sudden, okay, boom, now the audio and this tape drop. and really destroy ESPN. And it definitely destroyed the whole negotiations. Maria Taylor was leaving. Once that audio came public, she already knew she was out. When they tried to put out a story that she was asking for Stephen A. Smith money to make everybody go, oh, hell no, she don't do nothing to get Stephen A. Smith money. What's she talking about? See, they want to create that narrative, so they say, all right, cool. Now the other shoe for the drop. Like, the audio been here for a year. We already know what happened. And they thought they had this settled behind closed doors, and then the audio was never coming out. And then, booyah, the audio would have never come out had ESPN didn't play their hand wrong. So now Maria had already had another job set up. ESPN wasn't her only vice. See, that's what people forget. They think ESPN is the end all be all of all sports. It's not. Like, people can't live without them. Oh man, you lose ESPN, it's over. Unless you go to Fox. It's like, are you crazy? There's so many opportunities now. You don't even need these sports. You know, I guarantee you, Whitlock is making probably the same amount or basically some amount of money than when he left. He did Fox Sports. He left television, period. He was like, oh, okay, well, y'all can have this. And they like, oh, you think your worth is bigger than what you think it is. Now people can find their own avenue. It's like, look, my self-worth is bigger than what you got.
And the Alzheimer's, which we, I mean.
Well, what Rachel looks like and what Rachel actually is two different things. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care what she is. I care about one thing, and that is the truth being out there. She never was pushed on these things. Why did you feel that way about Black Lives Matter? Jack was a heavy advocate for Black Lives Matter. He made a lot of his revenue based off what happened in Black Lives Matter to George Floyd. And he sat there like a good little boy and said nothing. They didn't say one damn word. Jack sat there like a little kid in the chair and said nothing. I just know Rachel good people. She been goods to us. She watches us. She just like a mama. She showed me what camera to use, what microphones. I love Rachel because she gave me a job. You see, this is the problem we have as people. Yeah, your friend George Floyd, right? He like, yep. I'm like, friend? That was like your brother. What is you talking about? Friend? Is he your friend? Your half brother? What is he? To me, y'all look related. They got the same nose, everything. So how you gonna say all the smoke when y'all didn't even bring any smoke? Y'all didn't even smoke weed. There was no smoke on the show whatsoever. She didn't say nothing different than when she said on ESPN. This whole thing was put together to get everybody's attention, like Rachel was really finna go into something, and she did not. She said the same damn thing she said on ESPN. I'm surprised she didn't hand them a piece of chicken. She should have just handed them some piece of chickens and some watermelon as soon as the show was going on. Jackman, because I already got chicken. I'm surprised. She didn't do that. Jackman, I got the big piece of chicken though, man. Yeah, I got the big piece of chicken. I'm surprised. This is why they lost the people. All the Smoke used to be the best show on going. Everybody be, man, I love All the Smoke. I love All the Smoke. Now people are like, man, I don't watch them fools. They came off as phony. Because once y'all didn't touch the Black Lives Matter comment, and why was you laughing with this white dude, Adam, who advised LeBron James, and once he said, I'm just exhausted from Black Lives Matter. And you up there, and all your tweets is about Black Lives Matter. If you exhausted from it, why the hell you keep tweeting about it? Fake supporting. Faking the fun. She never mentioned that, not once. In no interview, no nothing did she ever bring that to the table. ESPN, was they wrong asking you to do that? Sure, they was wrong. Because they knew they were racist. They knew what they were doing. They was like in the mud. It was in the New York Times now. All their racism was being exposed. So yeah, they was trying to do what they can to save the network. What's good, man? Memphis in the house. Memphis, Tennessee is in the house. They never gave them a chance, bro. They never gave most of these guys a chance because they picked the right people they want. What I think about Favre? Oh, I think it's crazy because the same people are using these scams all around the globe. But Brett Favre should be arrested. He should be in the same crimes. He should be on trial. He should be doing jail time, just like the rest of these other people. And we're going to talk about should Favre do jail time tomorrow. We got that already cooked up. Don't worry. That video's coming tomorrow. Doing NFL Sunday. Now, no, Jack and them, see, what I say is they put those type of dudes in charge. Not just the NBA, in the NFL, in media, at every job in the world, you are going to have guys like this. They play the part and they loud and boisterous when they around the situation, but when it's time to be real, when it's time to be that guy, they're not that guy. Everybody praised Muhammad Ali for his stance. Said that man gave up his career. Muhammad Ali did what he did for his religious beliefs, but do you know what was going on in the country at that time? They were drafting black men and people, period, to go fight in a war across seas. He was supposed to go to war. And he's like, I'm not finna go over there and fight those people and shoot and all that. And I'll possibly get killed. So it was a lot bigger than what anybody else was talking about. His life, he was fighting for his life. And they was like, oh man, you just go over there and do some, boxing events to, promote well-being. They won't put you in anything real. They're not gonna put you in combat. You don't trust that. He's like, look at, we drafted Elvis. Nothing happened with Elvis. But he said, no, I'm not doing that because of my religious beliefs, which was true. If your religious beliefs is against that, by this country's standards, they wouldn't draft you. That's why a lot of Jewish people wasn't going to war. they had religious exemption. Now that extended also to all faiths or religion, so they wanted to challenge Muhammad Ali's religion where he couldn't go over and fight. So they stripped him of everything. So for 3 years, he had to basically earn just being Muhammad Ali, getting guest appearances on stuff. He basically lost almost 3 years of being out of the ring, which caused a decline in his skills and how great he was at that time. He was light years ahead of the game. Frazier wouldn't have beat him if he never had that pause in action. Like Joe Frazier would never beat Muhammad Ali ever. Now, here's the situation for people to really understand it clearly. Jack is doing what he always do. He defends people, and it gets himself in trouble because he goes above and beyond and makes the situation worse. He don't diffuse the situation; he makes it worse each time. He don't know when sometimes you can support people by just shutting the f up and not saying nothing. He don't understand that sometimes, and he ends up saying some of the dumbest things in the history of mankind. Like when he was on O Block, and then he decided to defend him being on O Block, and he just made it the worst of all times. It's like he needs an advisor around him 24/7 to tell him, you probably shouldn't go live, bro. This is a bad idea. I check in everywhere I go. Why do you need to check in? Check in with who? For what? Are you gang banging? What you checking in for? So it confuses me. What, like at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, he's praying. He got on a thobe. He got on a kufi, and then he's telling you about the right ways to go and choose Allah. Then about 9 o'clock, he's smoking weed and telling you, like, yo, man, check in, man. You gotta check in, man. You got a baseball cap on and some jewelry, flicking up the block and talking about how he checking in. And I'm like, well, which one is it? This is part-time Muslim? Like, when did they do that? But none of these dudes are real journalists. She's not going to go in front of a real journalist and actually answer those questions. Nobody even brought Adam's name up on no sports show ever. It was not picked up on no major network. They only kept it about Maria Taylor and Rachel. And the people on social media and everybody in Twitter world when it was going on was like, I want to know, why is she talking with this other white guy about Black Lives Matter and she's laughing when she was the main one supposed to be supporting? And she laughing like a hyena. Now, if you reverse that situation, and that's two black people talking about Rachel Nichols, and then they talking about what any white person movement they got going on. They talk about the Jewish community or anything like that, and somebody, if she just laughed, she'd have been unemployed. Immediately. She'd been fired the next morning. We thought that was insensitive, her laughing at that situation. And the person on the phone, too, yeah, he'll never work in his business again. Since he's exhausted, we'll take away his exhaustion. He ain't got to worry about it no more. Meanwhile, this guy's going around still advising LeBron James and everybody else involved. What's up with that? Well, I call them in a proper context. They're Jewish. So I definitely call them in a proper context. I don't call them Jews. I call them Jewish. Now, of course, she ain't gonna name drop on the show, except for Maria Taylor. That was the only thing she was gonna name drop was Maria Taylor. Maria Taylor. Somebody at ESPN set me up. Nobody set you up. You recorded yourself. She didn't know. It was a whole new recording equipment that they had for the right for the whole in bubble thing. So when she got there, that became the new scenario. Sports media today is trash. I mean, would you see Kendrick Perkins on the air anyway in sports history besides doing some advisory for whatever team he was on? We bring in our very own Kendrick Perkins. Yeah, it's good to be back. And I think that, if he just trusted in himself, like who's taking basketball IQs or kudos from Perk? I'm just like Rajon Rondo. They pay you to talk? They pay you to talk. I mean, it's really stupid because they don't debate basketball anymore. These sports shows have become horrible. And that's because they have to do it. If this came on like maybe two times, like on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, then people will be better. They could dissect it better. But when it happens every single day, and it's the same subject matter every single day, people are going to get exhausted and they're going to want to turn to something else. They need something to happen. And if nothing's happening, then you get stories like, does LeBron James closes the gap on Michael Jordan if he wins another NBA title? The heir to heir. And it's like, who comes up with these ridiculous titles? LeBron James is the GOAT based on what? Your programming? They were able to program you to believe that when he's not even the best player in the league right now? He wasn't the best player in the league 4 years ago. He wasn't the best player in the league 10 years ago. When was LeBron James the best player in basketball? When was the LeBron James era? The entitlement thing that has become an issue, and Michael became more arrogant with the success, just like LeBron. But unlike LeBron, Michael Jordan was a dangerous basketball player. Okay, that's the thing. You needed 3, 4 guys. You had to have a defensive scheme to shut down Michael Jordan. To give yourself a chance, everybody has to be focused and locked in on him. LeBron James is you can guard him with one guy and that's the day. You can go put anybody on him down there, and that's cool. LeBron got to have the super team because he damn sure can't do it. So that lets you know in a watered down NBA, the NBA is watered down right now. And you still have this situation going on right here. The Bulls was a super team. Are you out of your damn mind? What is so super about them? What was super? I mean, you're probably going to the '96 Bulls, right? When everybody's old. You're going back to '96, '97, and '98 because you can't be talking about the '91, '92, '93 Bulls and calling that a super team. If you knew what they had on that team, Ed Neely, Stacy King, Bill Cartwright, are you on crack right now? What was on their bench? That was probably the worst and the weakest bench in the history of NBA basketball. Yeah, Bobby Hansen came in the second year. They picked up him. He was a good shooter because that's what Jordan and them needed. They would always get a spot up shooter. Like they got Judd Bushler the last year after having Bobby for that 1 year. That was in the second year they got Bobby Hansen. They had Dennis Hobson, who was a shell of himself when he came to Chicago because Jordan hated him all because they didn't get his buddy. So he made Hobson life a living hell. Winnington, that's in like 95. Winnington came there in like the 95 season when he got to the Bulls. Did Steven Jackson sleep with Rachel Nichols? Who knows? Who cares? I know I don't. But this is why people like Malika Andrews got fast tracked because that whole article came out in the New York Times. They didn't have diversity in the game, and they were about to lose Maria Taylor. Now, she's claiming ESPN spied on her when she had a live video feed and audio from her room going out, streaming out to everybody on ESPN. Basically, anybody who had access could watch the Nichols show. She made this mistake, but ESPN spied on her and leaked it. She don't want to say there was a black woman that did this, because a black woman knew Rachel was not the nicest person in there. She always was very overprotective, and she was like this even against Beadle. She was a mean person to Michelle Beadle because Rachel, is pro LeBron, and Michelle Beadle is just pro doing her job. But she also had a sense of entitlement. But instead, she still wants to bring Maria Taylor's name up because she wants to still ride this wave. Maria Taylor can care less about this incident. She's moved on and doing her own thing, while Rachel is trying to save her face and get her career out of the mud. Will I be watching Rachel Nichols' show or whatever she's doing on Showtime Basketball? Hell no. I won't be supporting it at all. But you know what? There's going to be brothers that do. They're going to run over there and support Rachel Nichols. Why? Because she hadn't atoned. She should have asked, why does she feel exhausted from Black Lives Matter? Why does she feel like she was happy that he said that? If y'all felt exhausted about it, please expand. Be transparent. Don't pretend to be transparent. Don't support Black Lives Matter and then turn around and be really against Black Lives Matter. It's one way or another. It's like you're right across from Jack, who's talking about, hold up, I can't breathe, and wearing those shirts, and rode George Floyd to fame, rode his death to fame. Now, all of a sudden, you are the one. Right? He's the one. Oh, the rabbit hole's gonna get a lot deeper. That's how you have an inexperienced reporter like Malika Andrews, who's well more experienced than her sister. Her sister's young, she's in media, she's still training or learning on the job. While Malika Andrews have gotten a little bit better than what she was last year. You know, this time it's a little bit different. She was spearheaded to this position to where she's running the show. They never intended for her to run the show and have her own platform and do all these things. They had to spearhead somebody. So they got her, and they got a sister that I'm like, wow, I am very, very surprised she got there the way she did.
Hey, black woman, I just wanted you to know that you're pretty dope. Like, I don't care what society tells you. They might tell you that your skin's not pretty enough, that there's not enough shades to match your makeup, that although all women make 82 cents to the dollar on white men, you make 62 cents. They may tell you that you don't deserve that promotion, even though you know you do. They may tell you that when you get the promotion that you only got it because you were black. But we know that's not true. I just want you to know that I believe in you. So resist the urge to fall in line. Don't be humble, go brag. because you are so fine. You're the only one that can do what you do on a daily basis and never say boo-hoo to anyone because you are the one, the black woman that's stronger than everyone.
So that's what Maria Taylor put out. So they canceled the jump because the jump was basically falling off anyway. They wanted to just scratch that and restart over anyway. Michelle Beadle is an entirely different anomaly altogether. Michelle Beadle is one that was, for one point of view, she was the face of everything that was going on with entertainment, with the news, everything. Like, I've heard no feedback, no drawbacks. I've heard nothing. Everything was like bland. So when you start looking at a situation and it becomes just totally bland to you, nobody seems to know anything or have any answers to reply to anything, you start going in your own head and saying to yourself, like, man, what's actually happening here? No, I don't think he'll be back coaching in the NBA. What is Gilbert Arenas wearing, y'all? That boy been on West Hollywood, or he getting ready to go head out to West Hollywood. That is a very suggestive outfit, and that's not suggestive for women. That looks like a very, like he's going to watch the premiere of Bros tonight. He's going to watch that movie Bros. That don't look like you got it from the men's department. Not any men that I know. Even his homeboy looking at him like, damn. Damn. What is this nigga wearing? I can't say nothing though. Oh my God. I told you, people talk, you know. They're gonna be like, man, he got like 4, 5 kids. Well, I mean, them be the ones. They be the ones. I was like, you could tell from somebody's attitude. I was just like, man, the way they carry themselves, the way they act, is just some off. Getting initiated, shoot, he probably like a 10-year member. It's probably his 10th year anniversary. He been doing this stuff his whole career. He been giving you all these signs. We was just pointing out, like, man, why aren't you telling another man your lips is sexy? He was like, I wasn't saying his lips were sexy. I was saying I have big sexy lips. I can't even lie. Why would your lips be sexy? To who? You basing that off of? So you think men have sexy lips? Is that what you saying, Gil? That's what I was trying to get to the point. I didn't understand it. Where their job was to be good little boys. These were Rachel's boys. Cap and Jack went at Maria Taylor for Rachel Nichols. And Maria made that video once Jack came out and made it said she was a sympathy hire. Like she wasn't good enough to get the job. When Rachel Nichols, like, I put in the work. I've been there for 20 years. All of this is really a lie. Let's go into the I put in the work shit. Right? She put in the work for the first couple of years. Then she was really putting in the work. And then when she started to go on that program, like, look, I'll sleep with you to get an interview. That was on the table. And once that stuff was on the table, people, it was rumors that she was going around sleeping with people to get interviews. That rumor was going around. You heard Kwame Brown said back he was her first interview. She had never done an interview before until she interviewed Kwame Brown. And Kwame said he felt like she was throwing it at him. Like she was really throwing it at me too. Like, like you can get this cookie, even though that cookie gonna crumble. Like this cookie's crumbling and dry. Well, I told you about them redheads. Udoka gonna be, don't you do that. That redhead is fire. Red means fire, baby. You are playing with fire. Be careful messing with them redheads. This dude just came and said the dumbest statement ever. Huh? I've had the best YouTube week I've had in about 5-6 months. So, huh? Most of that was credit to Udoka situation, but are you crazy? Yeah, she got that yoga fire. No, I had to go out on a date. And yesterday I went out with Jenny to, we saw the movie Smile, and that movie creepy as hell. But yeah, the girl I was taking, she don't want to go watch scary movies. It's in her to hang out with the group, and they go do other things, like they go do girls' night and go hang out places, and her and the girls. I'm like, well, hit me up and we can go do something. And they wanted to go to one of the girls' son's football game, and I'm like, is this what we doing? I'm like, I don't do this. I don't sit around and talk about aluminum foil. But I understand that's what they do now. They parents, and I'm like, yeah, y'all parents, y'all gotta do that. But I'm like, you don't have to do that. That's her son's game. You can skip that. But she wanted to go to that, so more power to her. Oh, definitely, man. Because I wouldn't let them put me in that position. So when you have somebody that make you feel like you're something that you're not, that's on you because they made you feel like you were something that you're not. Oh, well, she ain't saying Maria Taylor got her fired because Maria Taylor was the victim of the whole thing. No, so today we went out and no, we went out and had that conversation because it needed to be had. Well, Rachel was a mean woman. She's not as nice as you think. If she thinks another reporter is trying to push up on her job or what she feels is hers, which was the NBA, she felt these are my players. I get exclusive interviews with them. I get the LeBron interview because she was with Team LeBron. So, and she gets the LeBron interview. She wants the Steph Curry interview. She wants all the big interviews. So anybody who's coming up in the game that ESPN is trying to bring up, she was chopping their heads off. Michelle Beadle didn't even want it, and she was coming after the Beadle. So I'm like, well, Beadle's got this multi-million-dollar contract where she drove Beadle out of the company. And that's why Beadle's like, you're finally getting what you deserve. So you are not a nice person. Well, people always compliment you when they're getting ready to say something crappy about you. You see, people always say, "Look, I love you. You're a great person. I have a blast with you, and everything you do is great. But you're an a-hole. You always forget this. You only think about yourself. You only." I'll be like, "Well, you might as well just scratch all the nice stuff you said in the beginning because you just went over all that. Was that supposed to soften the blow?" Look at that. I wish her all the success in the world. She needs you to wish her that? The redhead monster. If you need her to do more things because you feel pressure, that's it right there. If you need to give her more things to do because you're feeling pressured about your crappy long time record on diversity, which by the way is horrible. If you need to give her more things to do, who are you? Who are you to say that? That's terrible. Oh, y'all trolls love it. Why don't you go pick your mans up? Y'all can go watch Bros together. He's looking for somebody to go watch Bros again. He loved it. He wants to go see it. He wants you to come with him. Go get your mans. The movie theater they went to don't accept convicted felons, so he can go. But the theater where Gil at, he can get in dressed like that. Then if it get too hot and steamy in there, they got a bathhouse there for you. I'm quite sure he'll show you he got membership and VIP there. Go pick him up. That's your guy, right? You like that kind of stuff. Go ahead. I think he needs saving, but go ahead. Knock yourself out. I'm good with it. But anyway, I've said enough. I'm out.